So what are the Democrats really after when it comes to their Russian obsession? Rush Limbaugh put out an interesting theory yesterday.
When they lose, it can't be because they have been rejected by voters. No, there has to be some nefarious reason. There has to be tampering. There has to be meddling. There has to be collusion. And in the process, they have done a great job of making so many millions of Americans question the integrity of elections now. I believe this all has a very long-term purpose, and that is to eventually get rid of elections. Don't laugh and be very careful in criticizing me, because I'm here to tell you that if they could, they would.
That might sound a little out there unless you tuned in to Morning Joe this week.
Can we rewrite the Constitution and have another president take over right now?
I mean, seriously, get rid of the Constitution and put in a new president. That's the attitude that the left's taken on Morning Joe. Joining me now to debate what's really going on here is Leo Terrell, a civil rights attorney, and Horace Cooper, a senior fellow at the National Center for Public Policy Research. Gentlemen, thank you both for joining us here. I really do appreciate it. Leo, what's the end game?
Yes.
What's the obsession with Russia? Why is it, and what's the end game? What are you playing for?
Well, first of all, can I just make a comment about Rush? Rush is way out there. Al Gore, with grace and dignity, accepted the 2000 election. Regarding Russia, Donald Trump doesn't. He should start inviting Dan Coates to the White House for more dinner, because he's going to throw him under the bus. And your friend Matt, who earlier this week talked about how President Trump threw the intelligence under the bus, Matt got the memo and realized his wife works at the White House. My point is very simple. The Russian meddling is real. Both the Democrats and the Republicans realize that. And finally, your colleague, Trey Gowdy, you know him, Jason, he said the Mueller probe is necessary.
Now, Leo, let's just make sure we get our facts straight, because it was Barack Obama,
Okay,
weeks before the election, said that nobody was doing it, and even if they tried, they couldn't do it. Was that true or not true?
Well, see, that's a good move, Jason. I said, I mentioned your colleague, Trey Gowdy. You go to the Obama card. Trey Gowdy currently keeps saying that the Mueller probe is legit. You want to talk about Obama?
We're not arguing,
I want to talk about Trey Gowdy.
about that. We're not arguing about that. I'm asking you, was Barack Obama accurate or inaccurate? Did he lie, or was he telling the truth?
I can't get into the headset of Barack Obama as far as his motivation.
All right, you did answer it.
But I can tell you what's going on right now.
On that one. I understand that. Let's go to Horace.
Okay, great.
Here. How do you read this?
Look, the left hasn't accepted these elections. They're like, and pardon the expression here, but this is like Jason the 15th, the horror movie, in terms of Hillary Clinton coming up with an excuse after excuse after excuse for why they didn't win, and they haven't accepted this outcome yet. And that is their real problem. They're not concerned about America's national security the way they'd have you believe it.
Now, they suddenly have become hawks, though. When I look at the Democrats...
These are chicken hawks. These are chicken hawks. Look at what they did over my lifetime. I started working in Washington, D.C., and I watched an organization called the American Security Council. They used to rate the Democrats, like Nancy Pelosi, like Dick Durbin, like Chuck Schumer, all the way to the present. What we saw was every chance it came to protect America from Moscow, they were on the other side. They were cutting side deals. Kennedy talking over with the Russian government and their leaders, all the way to the present, after George W. Bush reaches an agreement with Eastern European countries about an anti-ballistic missile program. So what do?
Wait.
They
Jason, Horace is just, those are talking points. We're talking about that. You cannot
It's reality.
trust
history, I think,
Putin.
but yeah.
You cannot trust Putin. I mean, Jason, you know
I don't
this.
trust Putin.
Even your own Republican
Unless you're
colleagues
waiting for an
know that
election,
the Russian
and then you'll
meddling
have
is
some
real.
extra
More importantly, and let's be honest, Horace, look at the Al Gore footage. He accepted with dignity and class the 2000 election.
You got to go back to 2000.
Way off.
Wait a second. Still hasn't.
Throwing away elections. Come on.
You make a big point about Al Gore accepting the outcome of the election. I haven't seen any of that from Hillary Clinton. I saw it with grace and dignity from Mitt Romney. I saw it from Al Gore. But what about Hillary Clinton? And why can't the Democrats accept that Donald Trump is the president?
The Democrats can accept Donald Trump as the president. He won the Electoral College. Let me say that right now. But Jason, again, we have a problem. We have Russian meddling in our fundamental process, elections, voting, and your Republican colleagues say the same things. And again, let's say this. Please, President Trump, may I make one plea? Please, President Trump, don't fire Dan Coates for being honest. Please, he's a good director of national intelligence. He's going to get rid. Please don't do that.
Of you.
Thank
Horace,
you.
I want to ask you, Rush Limbaugh made a pretty strong allegation that the end game here is actually that the Democrats want to get rid of elections. You had Mike Barnicle, who's a pretty, respected person, at least he was before last week, who's out there saying, let's get rid of the Constitution or amend the Constitution so that we can instill a new president.
When Moscow created out of whole cloth the international peace movement that took over Europe with their funding, where was the left? When Moscow said that it was a farce that the President of the United States, Ronald Reagan, would put up a strategic defense initiative, where were the progressives? They were with Moscow. You come all the way to today, 2017, when we had the president's budget on defense. Where were the progressives? They did not support
Jason,
it.
does he really believe this? Does he believe what he's actually saying?
He does.
Does he actually believe
Roosevelt
this?
said, talk softly and carry a big stick.
Okay.
Leo,
Because I
give
could
your
have sworn that
perspective.
it was President Kennedy. Hey, Horace, how about Missiles of October? 13 days in October. I suggest you read it and review it, because the guy in the White House was a guy named JFK. He was a Democrat, but you may not want to know that.
And that's
what is
the
this?
last time
And
I
he
think
was
you can
probably the
go
last
back and
hawk
look.
you guys have ever had.
Wait, go to one more recently when the Russians brushed in and took over Crimea. I didn't hear the Democrats criticizing Barack Obama. I didn't hear them raising this. And the president misspoke at a press conference, something he recanted and clarified, and y'all are going nuts. That's what's just
no, I'm
60
simply saying
years,
this.
60 years, the left has been on the wrong side, siding with Moscow against the interests of America.
Let Leo have the last word. We got just 10 seconds.
Horace
here.
and Jason, talk is cheap. Let's see some results. If President Trump is going to have Putin come to the White House, let's see some results in all these so-called disasters created by Obama. Let's see some disaster, because talk is real cheap right now.
Well, there has been action. And you know what? One of the things that Vladimir Putin is looking down the pipe at is the fact that there are tens of billions of more dollars going into the defense of our NATO allies. And that didn't happen under any other president than President Trump. Gentlemen, I thank you for joining us on this beautiful Friday night. Thanks for coming in.